So I guess like in case like new people tune in because it's just something new. Hi guys, it's Araman here. Oh, I haven't done that intro in a while. I am a professional game tester. I've been working as a game tester for 2 years, a little bit more than 2 years. I've been working on mostly AAA titles. The only one I can mention is Dying Light 2. The rest like I just cannot talk about. And yeah, we're gonna be reacting to the Fallout 76.
June 2018. It began with everyone getting just
Oh, it's been like teased for so long.
Waited long
Wow.
enough, guys.
Oh God, yes we have, Todd. Fallout 76.
I mean, yeah, even I was like hyped when I saw the
My
trailers.
God, it was exciting.
Oh,
and
Jesus,
they promised
loud.
we'd know more at E3. 16 times the detail.
16 times the detail. All new rendering, lighting.
I love how at this point there are just like full compilations of unmet promises from Todd Howard on conferences. Like, it's just such a trend at this point. It just keeps on happening that he promises stuff which is not delivered. We love a man who achieves consistency, right? Like...
The game goes live with a day one patch of 50 gigabytes.
Of course.
I'll see you tomorrow.
But once that's downloaded, people start logging into the hellscape that is Fallout 76.
Okay, to establish kind of like my approach in how I will be kind of like judging this, when you make the game and when you like test the game, you kind of prioritize different things that you might think as a player, because the basic problem for the developer or for a tester is, can you get through the game? So for example, the most important things are gonna be, oh, I cannot finish a quest? That's a problem. That's the biggest like kind of bug, the biggest issue that you have to focus on. But this kind of like flickering,
And
oh, okay, but that black like effect,
logging into the hellscape that is
yeah,
Fallout 7.
this is a minor issue technically. So it's like, if it was mostly stuff like that, then it's not so bad. It sounds weird to say, but yeah.
76. And oh dear lord, they never fix the bugs. Goodbye world.
That seems a bit more extreme. Sure.
Goodbye next.
Like this is a minor issue. This is probably like, you know, since you just cannot see the body. If the body has its full functionality, then it's fine. Then they did fine. I'm guessing it will probably be mentioned, but I'm guessing that there was a lot of issues with like pushing the game way too quickly, like having very short deadlines. But if the body functions correctly and you just cannot see it, then it's like something that somebody could fix in like half a day.
Bugs everywhere. Server crashes.
Okay, that's a bigger problem.
Bugs imported from Fallout 4. Use more than one nuke at a time. Server's dead. Textures far too
Oh, because it was like you could drop nukes for every player at once, right? Since it was online. Okay, that's a bigger problem, because then it's just that like you didn't account for the player base that you're gonna have. So then it starts being a problem of like, how do you catch up to that? But okay, we'll see.
Texturous and all-consuming void.
That's interesting. This sort of thing. Wait, show it again. The black effect. Because that's not really the issue of the game. I think this was an issue with drivers that was there for a while. Embrace the void. Yeah, you should embrace the void. No, I'm kidding. The game itself also is dependent on the drivers available from like Sony for PlayStation, from Microsoft for Xbox. So if I'm not mistaken, the black void was kind of a PlayStation issue. I assume that must have been recorded on PlayStation. If it was like on every platform, then again, that's kind of bad. But I think that wasn't really the fault of Fallout.
Frame rate problems, screen tear problems, getting too swole.
Yeah, okay, then it's like frame rate issues. Yeah, that's becoming a problem, because I think we've had a recent launch that was kind of bad. Jedi Survivor. It launched with just horrible performance, and it was performance so bad that people just couldn't play it. Like, the game is apparently good, but people couldn't like get through the first area just physically because of how bad the performance is. So then that starts really becoming a problem.
Joseph Anderson has a great video that documents just the ones that he found personally. That video is 3 hours long.
Isn't that a staple in a lot of new games today? Like releasing games that suck? Releasing a game with bad performance? Unfortunately, yes, that is a staple of gaming recently. 1001 glitches, right? 3 hours of video. That sounds bad on paper. However, it takes a developer half a day to fix an average issue, maybe like a more serious one, and like simple issues can be fixed in 5 minutes. Can I open the calculator? It's not really gonna... Oh, you guys are gonna see my recommended. That's probably not good. Ada has SAS recommended. My recommended is mostly Alpharad, because I watch a lot of Alpharad and like ASMR. If you divide those 1001 issues, right? Those issues by a team of about 30 developers, those bugs can be fixed in about 16 days. Bugs can be fixed as fast as the amount of information provided on the issue. If your user just reports game randomly crashes, then it's gonna take a while to debug what's causing that. That's very true. That's very true. I assume that Bethesda has an internal QA team, because then the internal QA is tasked with like, oh, the users have found an issue, quickly we must like, you know, our testers will dedicate their time to really finding what's causing that, because like that's the kind of job that I do often. If you just had like 30 developers just dedicated to fixing the glitches, this game with 2 more weeks could have avoided all of those glitches. I mean, I'm assuming that the dev team has at least 30 people. That's another question entirely. I don't know like how many people Bethesda even had dedicated to this project. But think of the stockholders, yes, yeah, exactly. I guess you just had to have those trailers for E3 to build hype, and then you just had to release it at a time where the game would become popular, theoretically. But literally, if you just gave Bethesda 2 more weeks, if the developers could have just spent 2 more weeks working on it, this could all have been fixed. It's not the fault of the developers. I'm sure that if they were just given the necessary time, they could have like fixed this game up, no problem.
But it gets worse. Error CE348780.
Yo.
Your data and force you to reinstall the game and console operating system.
That's bad. I think like everything I said, that's kind of the worst kind of issue you could encounter. In no situation should the game ever interrupt anything on your kind of hardware, because that means that like it could potentially just ruin your whole system. That means it's basically malware. This is very, very bad. This is kind of like the top priority kind of issue ever, because this just means that like your users are downloading your software, which can potentially just like affect them very, very negatively, because if you can force them to have to reinstall a software update, then it means that it could just like delete their files, it could do anything. Like this is very, very, very bad.
A few PC players had their computers brick entirely. Also, when the date rolled over to the 1st of January 2019, the nukes in the game stopped working altogether.
That's funny.
I thought it prudent to program in other years always online.
Okay, that just...
And a few players were straight up logging into other people's accounts.
What?
This guy had a level 78 character that was randomly replaced.
I don't know what to say, like... I guess the servers were just awful. Wait, I just want to read this post real quick. I deeply apologize, however, as touched on previously, we do not have the ability to restore characters should they get deleted or go missing. We have no way to help you. Good luck. That's great. That's great customer support. Good job, Bethesda.
One more exploit. In all the Bethesda games, there's a div.
Oh yeah, I remember this from Fallout 4.
Security has to be top-notch, because otherwise someone could just waltz in and take all of the best items in the game, and it would be an absolute disaster.
Yep, people locked in there.
Well, shit.
Oh no, what's this gonna be?
Cheetah, do you want to tell us how you did it, and we might unban you, please?
This issue, like the fact that they wouldn't know how their own game works, feels like it's pointing towards them neglecting QA. Like, at this point, I am kind of out of excuses to give them. It really just feels like they just don't have a QA team. Because this kind of thing, you could just tell, like, a team of 5 people, oh, hey, find out how they do it. Because normally QA testers are, like, quite adept at, like, finding exploits. Like, this is their profession. This is kind of thing that I could be dedicated to. Like, you know, you just go to your shift, you get told, hey, people are accessing the dev room, find out how. Look at the game credits and it seems like Fallout 7 had the same QA peeps as most other Bethesda and related companies' games. But I guess Bethesda is known for having glitched releases, either way. That would explain all of Skyrim's bugs, lol. Yeah, yep. I feel like that feels consistent in a weird way. I don't want to be rude to anybody, because I'm sure that the people working there are like doing their best, you know, they're doing their jobs. And also it could just be a matter of being understaffed, because like I said, normally a AAA title can have like up to 50 people just sitting there testing the game. Even more maybe, like you could have a team of 60, 70 people just dedicated to testing. 10 leads and 30 testers. Yeah, that doesn't feel like the appropriate amount for a huge map, so you can have like graphical issues everywhere, a lot of quests. That stuff is very tedious and time consuming. We could blame that on the QA department being either understaffed or badly managed. That feels like two of the easiest explanations for it.
But for now, Todd returns to cryostasis, hiding in his bunker until the bombs of outrage stop falling.
Oh god.
And returning only when it's time to get our hopes up once again.
It just works. All of it just works. The game part of it doesn't actually feel like it did that bad in a weird way. Like this feels weird to say, but if you just had given it 2 more weeks, if you had given it the 2 weeks after release to focus on fixing the issues, it would have been fine. It would have been fine. I cannot blame the basic workers for this. I feel like this was all a management issue. Looking at how badly the lawsuits were like managed, they just messed up on the management of the project. If you just like completely mismanage your resources, if you make it like impossible for people to focus on just fixing the issues, if you mismanage your QA department so that they won't just find how people are accessing the dev room for you, then you end up with Fallout 76 apparently. And for today, thank you so much for chatting. Have a nice day, evening or night depending on your time zone, and I'll see you next time, guys.